The bears are starting to win this battle, I'm not gonna lie. We're out here on Revontuli Coast, it's just... How many bear streams can we do before it gets to be too repetitive? So I wanted to switch it up. There are a lot of diamonds still on Revontuli Coast that we don't have. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, 2 hours to spend running around this map, maybe we can get one of them. We're going to try to go after black grouse at least a bit. I don't want to make it an all black grouse hunt because we've done quite a lot of videos around that. We'll kind of see where we go though and see where things lead us. Had a troll level 5 springbuck today, or yesterday even, that's no good, man. Hopefully you'll get redemption on one of them. What's up, Hydra? What's the best map? It's really a matter of personal preference. My personal favorite is Latent Lakes. I've got to say Revontuli is quite fun. I think if you're interested in small game, or really even if you're particularly interested in whitetail, Revontuli could be considered the best by a lot of people. I don't know that I can choose like an all-around best. I can pick my favorite, but you know, not everybody wants to hunt nothing but big game. That's a huge level 2 hazel grouse. 435 is diamond for them. Well, we'll just wander over there and see what that kinda ends up being. That might be something good. We could shoot that with the 22, by the way, but I'm kinda hoping we get a closer flush or something. Gonna be tough to shoot him at that kind of range. I mean, if we gotta pop with the 22, we will. We have a diamond hazel grouse already. Another part of our single player diamond challenge is trying to get all the bird species out of the air. Since we have a diamond hazel grouse out of the air already, I'm not too worried. How many kills are you in now, Bottom Boy, for your Great One grind? Is that him? Yeah, he's coming back. Where are you? It's coming this way somewhere. Unless it's another one. Just about to hop on the hunter? Nice. I hear the wings. This is gonna be difficult. I haven't had... Oh god. Good. Running into multiple bird species, that'll help. I don't see any blue tracks. Maybe that was the second one? Well, this is a good start. Didn't expect this kind of chaos. Did I miss anything? We spotted a really big hazel grouse, level 2. And tried to get it, and it seemed to disappear. Got a mountain hare over there. Literally all the things that I want to find right now. And yet, we don't know where the hazel grouse went. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's get back on that track. It is max weight, which of course is to be expected. Almost 1100. My last one had 2 diamonds and a 210 piebald. Nice, dude. Maybe things are warming up. What's up, Active Dragon? Best map for the red deer grind. I think it's pretty clearly Te Awaroa by now. You could have made the argument for Quadro Colinas prior to this update, but with Te Awaroa's drink time being in the daylight, you just can't beat it. I'm doing good, Active. It's been an odd day. Rather warm, which is never fun, so just kind of hiding from the heat. Of course, tomorrow's video, normally I record on Mondays, but tomorrow's video is my half of the episode 6 of the 2021 Meat Hunters season, so didn't have as much to do there. Daniel, thank you for the super chat. Will you be streaming early access for Way the Hunter? I will base my purchase on your opinion of the game. I think I'm gonna try. Maybe that's something that should be clarified, because up until, what, a couple days ago, there was nothing going on. Those of you that are in the Way the Hunter Discord probably saw one of the moderators stepped up to help out. So there will be some early access content. We shall see if we get to stream it or not. I'm hoping to, but, you know, just going to depend on how that goes. Well, I can find every species. Killing them is not going well. Gonna start my grind on Te Awaroa? Sweet. Can you give me some advice on waterfowl? I'll be honest, I've not been great with the waterfowl yet, but the best I can tell you is try to go around and find waterfowl wherever you can find them. I had to focus to take that shot. If you can see them resting on the water's edge, if you get the call-outs while they're in the air, and just set up at that lake. Let's see what this guy is. 428. Kind of expected him to not make gold, or not make diamond. Would have been wow to get a level 2 diamond hazel grouse, but had it happened, it would have been the gray plumage type that I wanted. Close though. But anyway, yeah, when you spot waterfowl, whether it's on a lake or flying around water, you set up with those decoys, and best I can tell you is keep adapting your setup to where they're landing. Now, they land into the wind, so that's something you can kind of work to your advantage, knowing that basically the wind right now is at our backs, so if we were set up for waterfowl right here, they'd be landing basically, like, say, from this tree towards us. So you can kind of, you know, make do there, but that only can help so much. You still need to adapt your setup as you go. What's up, Danny? Hey, no worries, dude. Kyla texted me, by the way. I think she can't, like, type in the chat for some reason. I have no idea why, but if anybody's wondering where she's hiding. YouTube has decided to be rude today. What animals are on this map? There are 19 species on this map, so there's a bunch of waterfowl. You've got upland birds, 2 species of ptarmigan, 2 species of grouse, 3 species of geese, whitetail moose, raccoon dogs, lynx, brown bear. And I might have hit on everything. I didn't name all the waterfowl because I know I'd miss one, but lots of stuff, basically. Wouldn't have minded figuring out where that black grouse was. I never did get to see it, but we'll just wander around, see what happens. Super unlucky, my first 3 max level whitetail were all trolls? That's no good. I had that with red fox, unfortunately, so it'll happen on occasion, but hopefully your next one makes it. Nice, Tyler. Done with the Great One grind. Not done, just taking a break. We've done a ton of black bear content, and at some point I just worry that it's going to get, you know, too repetitive. For me is one thing, but for those watching is the more important thing, so, you know, try to limit it to a degree. We're over 4,200 kills, I think 4,240 is the current number, so it's been a lot. I hope it's around the corner. The Colonel, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. I was initially disappointed that there was no M1911 in Call of the Wild. Then I remembered that any animal shot with a 45 ACP would immediately be vaporized, destroying any meat and furs in the process. Sometimes you gotta make those ballistic decisions. Easy way to get money. Any species that travels in big herds. Red deer, particularly on Red Araroa, maybe. Fallow deer on Teawaroa, whitetail on Revontuli, you can make really good money. Black bear, honestly, they're not even in herds. I've made so much money on that black bear grind over on Silver Ridge Peaks. Anything that you can get in big numbers is gonna inherently make a bunch of money, and it helps if it is a animal that goes up to level 9. So you don't have to be shooting level 9s over and over, just an animal that maxes at 9. So your predator species, red deer, stuff like that. Cape buffalo and water buffalo would be the same, but obviously they're big animals, a little tougher to take them down at times. But even if it is whitetail, because you can get so many, slightly less cash per animal can be offset by the amount you can get. And actually, that's a good point, Bottom Boy. And red deer hides still make over 1,000 cash per. Kind of a decent one, but we'll try to stay with the task at hand here and track this max weight black grouse. What is the best way to get money on SRP? Probably just shooting a ton of pronghorn, to be honest. Are the mountain goats in Way the Hunter looking better than the initial trailer? I have no idea. I found that pronghorn SRP is great for making money. Yeah, there's so many around. I heard him. That's probably him. Well, we'll see what that is. Oh. Wait. I think that's the one we were after. I have no idea anymore. Goose hunting makes a lot of money? I think it's tougher now to make money goose hunting, but it definitely does. Either a leucistic again or a female. That one's a female. Not to worry. 2 days ago I killed 2 level 3 Turks. One of them was a troll, the other was a diamond. You know, that's a new thing, that turkeys can even troll. It was never possible up until, I guess it was the Revontuli update, right? 4.60 used to be diamond, it's now 4.64 or or 4.62. One of the two. So it can happen. You end up with trolls a bit more. Neither of those was the one we're tracking. Okay. Not going to complain about some free respawns, but back on the trail we go then. Bird hunting. Dude, the amount of times I get turned around, it usually ends up getting cut out of videos because it's... Once, say, the animal that I'm targeting gets shot or whatever, usually I kind of cut there and I go back to doing my thing, and I'm only half paying attention at that point. But I'll run like 400 meters and be like, wait, that's not the direction I was going. How did I get going this way? One of these days I'll actually include something like that. A lot of times, and not so much on Revontuli really, but for a lot of videos, an hour in or so I'll start like listening to a podcast or music or something. So sometimes it can be hard to have the initial reaction to things, such as going the wrong direction. Which shotgun is that? I'm using the 16 gauge. I just talked about it yesterday, actually. A lot of people ask me why I use it. Basically, it's got a 5-round capacity, and the base game 12 gauge pump has a 6-round capacity. And my reasoning is, I just shoot better with it. Its sights are more suited, I guess, to my style of aiming, the way that I use a shotgun in game, so I find it works well. I mean, it did come out with Rancho del Arroyo, which of course, the main point in it coming out with that map was to be a pheasant gun, and pretty much everything on Revontuli kind of fits that same mold. What's up, Rebecca? How's it going? I know Kyla's in here. For some reason, YouTube is not letting her type, so I'm sure she says hi and just can't. They should make a great one moose. I think a lot of people were really hoping for that with the most recent one. I've got to think it's high on the list. If not because it was something they wanted to do, surely because of the community's response to the idea of it. I don't know where this lad has gotten to. Lost tracks all of a sudden. It's one of those things too. A lot of black grouse are max weight. I'm gonna say, for the sake of not getting too bogged down and tracking something that we don't even know what it is, we'll probably just kind of continue forward. You were hoping for Great One Moose? You guys know I love antler stuff, so I was definitely moose or mule deer or something would have been ideal for me, I guess, but I like the bears, even though I can't get one. I like them. When does the next great one come out? Hard to say. We don't really have a proper precedent for that yet. For maps, you know, where are you? Oh, there we go. That could be the one that we're tracking. But anyway, we've got a pretty good idea of what they do with their map release schedule. It's been basically the same since 2019? Maybe 2018. Yeah, it would be 2018. So, for a long time, new map every 6 months. As for great ones, we got the first in, I believe, late April of 2020. Then we went a year and a half between that and red deer, and then about 6 months between red deer and black bear. So we could maybe see another one in about 6 months. Maybe they're going to do one with every map now, or maybe it's a bigger design limitation than we think, and it could take a while. Smoked. Still don't think it was the right one, because the tracking distance said 0 meters, but once you get off the trail, sometimes it goes back to 0. Great One Lion? See, that could be cool. I was talking to Mel the one day, and she had this idea. Was it The Ghost in the Darkness? A real story about 2 lions? That could have been a Great One concept. I liked it. Maybe she'll do some sort of video on that, or if she's here, she could talk about it. Isn't your birthday soon? Next month. I'm gonna be old, officially, I think. Is the new map good, Revontuli? I like it a lot. It really suits my playstyle, I think, which is just wander. Like, I like going to maps maps. I like going to lakes and, you know, targeting one particular species and just doing that for a long time. I also quite enjoy the aspect of just running around and whatever ends up in front of me, shooting that. And Revontuli gives you a ton of that between the rabbits, which we're on the track of right now. Birds fly by all the time. It really lends itself to a wandering style of gameplay. And you see some other maps that just don't do that as well. Like, you have to be going to body of water after body of water, you know, otherwise you're not going to see as many animals. You don't have to do that here. You don't have to be anywhere near water to have a really successful hunt. That might be something I do. And now there's water everywhere. So it's tough to not be near water, but it might be fun to do one where we just avoid all lakes in a video and just see what we can come up with. You're not old until you're balding? I think, maybe that's a good standard. I might, if I have the same, like, good hair genetics as my dad. My dad's 64, and for the most part not gray and still has plenty of hair, so if I can pull that off, I'll be doing good. I know I saw that little sneaky bugger go across the road here. I don't know where he went. Or she, I should say. Did Kyla make it in? I didn't even see. What's up, Justin? I've got as thick a hair as ever, just turning gray already? Kyla said I had a couple grays. I blame Shadow. What time do you start to stream? On Mondays, I always stream from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesdays, I do a 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. stream. That's over on Twitch. And Fridays, also on Twitch, I do a 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time stream. Started doing challenges on Rev. Are you referring to the title, or do you mean something else? All of 18 and have gray in my beard? If I had a beard to have gray in, I tell you what, maybe I could relate. Where are you from? I'm from Pennsylvania. Hunting on Yukon to try to get a diamond albino moose. If there's one map to get a diamond albino moose on, it's Yukon in the snow. It'd be really cool. Thanks for the info about the brown bear females, no worries. I thought of it afterwards too. One of the probably rarest possible things would be a gold albino female brown bear, because gold female brown bear, they're pretty rare to begin with, and then stack albino on top of it. Now they seem to be far more common since Revontuli, but even still, put the restriction on that it's got to be a gold female, and that in and of itself is pretty rare. I have a question. What is your favorite map on Call of the Wild? I still am a Leighton Lakes homer. All the new maps that have come out, as much as I've enjoyed all of them, I always go back and default to Leighton Lakes when it comes to my favorite. Small man, what's up, Ben? I'm from next to Pennsylvania? Whoa. Neighbor states. Do you remember your first diamond? I do. Hard to forget, really, because of the sequence of events that went into it. I knew about diamonds for a couple of months. I had a couple close calls. I had a moose where I thought you were supposed to just make like a good shot, so I made a double lung shot. Back then, that wasn't good enough the way that the game worked. You needed a quicker kill than I got, so I missed out on that diamond. And then when Medved came out, and I think it was that aspect of like a fresh map sort of deal, I ran into another level 5 moose. Did everything right, heart shot it. I was just over the moon that I had made this heart shot. You know, this is going to be my first diamond, and I claim it. I had 0% consecutive harvests. Now, that's a thing that's no longer in the game either. But back then, it influenced your score, and it took what would have been, I think, a 980-something moose down to like a 803? Something like that. So basically, would have been a really big diamond, now barely a gold. The next day, with a musk deer, I finally got one where I made the shot, had consecutive harvest. So 957 diamond musk deer was my first. What's up, Justice? Thank you for the super chat. Howdy from Arkansas. What's going on, man? Appreciate the support. Hey, Kyla. Glad you made it. Why don't you play Red Dead anymore? Well, online for me has gotten kind of stale. You know, I love that game. Like, it's what I was gonna say. It's one of the best games ever made. I think I'm gonna correct myself. It's probably the best game ever made. But they just maybe it's the limitations on what you can feasibly do in an Old West setting is maybe the way to say it. I just felt like they didn't add enough to online to keep that interesting. And then with the story mode, we completed it. We did the entire story on Twitch. And I don't know. That's for me, that was just where I think it was meant to end. Maybe I'll go back to it one day. It's a fun game to just screw around in, so that could always happen. But in terms of, am I going to, go back and make a video on it? Not anytime soon anyway. How old are you? I am 24 for a little bit longer. Hello from France. What's going on, man? What map do you hunt on? Because I'm new, and what are your favorite guns? So right now we're hunting on Revontuli Coast. Pretty good, beginner-friendly map, to be honest. The only thing is, there's a lot of birds, and you don't start out with birdshot. You've got buckshot, which will work. It'll just, kind of hurt the harvest check for your animal. But there's a lot of small stuff you can take with the 243. As for my favorite guns, I think the 308 AR-10 is probably my favorite kind of medium game gun. The 300 is definitely my favorite big game gun, and honestly, the 243, the starter weapon, it's got to be the most underrated weapon in the game. And some of that aspect of it being underrated has gone away as more people have kind of learned more, I guess, about the game. But there was a really long time where one of the most common questions I would see in comment sections and in stream chats and stuff was, what gun should I buy? I only have the starter gun and it sucks, or something like that. The 243 is awesome. It's good for a lot of things. Crow told me that you thought Way the Hunter email you got. Crow told me that you thought the Way the Hunter email you thought was fake? Nope. I didn't say that. The Kyla Content Company? Yes, that's definitely the thing you should do. Great idea, Float. What is your biggest animal? See, that's always hard to answer because, for true rack species, there's no real max score. On the species that don't yet have true racks, they do have a max score, but then when you have multiple different species of the max score, it's hard to choose one over the other. I think if you want to just go all around biggest, I've got a max score plains bison. They're the second biggest animal in the game, and they don't have true racks, so it is that max score. Killakai coming at you live, I like it. No, I knew what you meant, Ben, but I still didn't. It wasn't fake. Did you get early access for Way the Hunter? I believe I'm allowed to say yes, hopefully. I know other people have said that they have it publicly, so I believe I'm all good. Thanks to one of the moderators in the Way the Hunter Discord. I'm not really big on, promoting Discords and stuff that aren't my own, because sometimes I don't know, I never want to sound like a... God, I thought that was the duck that I just spotted. I never want to sound like a sellout or whatever, hey, go join this Discord, or this game's awesome, whatever. But the moderators in the Way the Hunter Discord are awesome. They are so helpful. So, if you're interested in that game and you're not in the Discord, join it. Cool people over there, really active, and there may never be a better time to join the Discord. The hype over there for that game is nuts. I can't figure out how to put the bullet drop compensation. Are you talking about zeroing, perhaps? If that is what you mean, you need to, in your skills, or sorry, in your perks, if I click the right thing, when you've unlocked the zeroing perk, you also have to click it. Now, it won't happen because I've done it, but you gotta click it, and then you'll have an option to activate. You gotta do that, and then in the bottom right, you'll see I've got my distances, and also the key. Z there, if I were to switch it, it would say, F or whatever key you might want to set it to. Did some crossbow hunting lately. I haven't taken the crossbow out in this game in a real long time. I've thought about it on occasion, then I just end up never doing it. Hello? I think it's a female. Oh, that's a black grouse, though. Kinda decent. Not huge, but decent. Probably a 22 situation. That feels so doable. They gotta be close. Alright. Reload and try to get him when he lands. If he lands, he is going. Ugh. There we go. I have no idea how far that was, but it worked. What are your thoughts on racing games like Forza and I don't even know what the second one is? I used to love racing games as a kid. I don't know what aspect about them it is, but I don't know. It's not something that really entertains me much anymore. I like games that I don't have to put 100% of my focus into. So whether that's Farming Sim or any of the hunting simulation games I've done, from Hunter Classic to Call of the Wild to Hunting Sim 2 to any of the old throwback games, like, you never have to put all your focus into it. Like, you can just kind of casually play them. The same, I think, would go for maybe other than Rocket League, but those are 5-minute matches. Basically any game that I've ever made content on, even Red Dead to a degree, you can just kind of wander. Racing games, you kind of have to be, you know, all in for however long the race is, and it just doesn't fit my playstyle a lot. Do a crossbow and bow hunt only. You know, I need to do something like that, probably for the lead up to archery season. I think that'd be a good way to kind of get hyped for that. I usually do stuff like that in Classic if I'm going to do it. Generally speaking, because it's kind of the more realistic hunting simulator, and also, for bow's sake, bow hunting in Classic is way better. Maybe I'll try it in Call of the Wild this year. If you kill a diamond bear, me and my friend will subscribe, and I will also. Well, I appreciate it. We'll see if we can get lucky. I had one in early access, so maybe that'll happen again today. How long do you think it would take to get a diamond brown bear on Medved? I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea when brown bear drink on Medved, if you're likely to find a lot of them, if they're harder to find now. I've not been on Medved since the change, and for that reason I don't know that I can answer that. Oh, I meant to answer that question earlier, then I got distracted. If you could add any multi-mount, what would it be? I think a Huddle Mule Deer would be really high on that list. Of all deer species that I think of, that when I imagine like a mule deer, I'm normally thinking of a bachelor group of bucks. And they're the one without the huddle. You've got Huddle Whitetail, you've got Huddle Fallow, you might as well call it Huddle Reindeer. I know it's not actually called that in the multi-mount, but that's what it is. I hope he's not going to float over here. But yeah, I feel like we're missing that one. I bet, Rebecca, that's a cool thing to get away from a game and then come back to a bunch of new content. Feels like starting fresh. This music is a headbanger. I actually can't hear the music on YouTube stream, so I have no idea. I'd like to see a Huddle Great One, even though I'd never fill it. It'd be cool if they did do some kind of, like, Great One exclusive mount. I think if you said that 2 years ago when Great Ones came out, they'd have been like, no way, like, it's too exclusive. But now, there's a gigantic portion of the community that is just Great One focused, and I think it would make sense for them to do that. That's not it. 286 to that. So that'd be 250, and about there. Neat. And a cat. A black bear Great One attacking a whitetail Great One? That could work. I wouldn't mind if they just did all three species. It would make no sense, but like Will said, why not? Nothing too crazy, Bandles. We had... The very first thing we spotted was a gigantic level 2 hazel grouse, and I thought we might have had a diamond level 2, but ended up being, what, 428, diamonds 435? It was the gray fur type as well, which is the one that I want a diamond of, so go figure. Starting to rain. Oh, I see that. Hopefully it cools it down. It is. I am a bucket of sweat right now. How do you tell what diamonds on the trophy score? I'm not sure if I understand your question, but maybe I can answer that with this links. Okay, so if you're asking how I know what score is diamond, anytime you shoot something, you can select it with the controller or just mouse over it, and you see the diamond requirement at the bottom there at 27.68. if you're asking how to get the score estimates, like when I spot an animal, I don't know if there's anything around to spot right now. When I spot this whitetail, I've got that 145 to 185 estimate. That is a skill in the ambusher tree. Spotting knowledge, that would be level 2. I don't even remember what I shot up here. A rabbit? Oh, and there's a deer. Let's not forget the deer. What's up, Grisky? I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know if I've ever pronounced it out loud or asked how to say it. I hope I got that right. Specific, or what did I say? Region-specific mounts? Yeah, dude. Like, anything like that would be a great idea. I think more Trophy Lodge stuff. If there's anything that I'd like them to really expand in this game, it's probably Trophy Lodges. That and, like, character customization. $92 where I live? I don't know what the actual temperature is. Kyla said the feels like was 90 when she went outside an hour ago. My friends and I made a spreadsheet for the scores using the wiki. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I have a gigantic portion of my brain which should be used for actual useful information, but it's just used for remembering all the different scores in Call of the Wild and like requirements and stuff like that. Oh dear, Acid. TK was telling me there was more missions beyond just the 2 that I was aware of, so now I feel like I'm way behind. Hello. Thanks for coming. 60 yesterday, 97 now? I think the end of the week we're supposed to get 73 or something, and I'm looking forward to that. How's it going? Going good. How about you, man? Thoughts on Great One Musk Deer with giant tusks that touch the ground? I always, every time that, like, Great One speculation happens all over the community, my favorite thing to do is post a GIF from Ice Age where Sid the Sloth holds, was that a... Man, that looked light even for a female. Anyway, Sid the Sloth holds up, like, sticks to his, like, into his mouth that look like tusks, and I always say Great One Musk Deer and post that. It says brown. Sure looked white to me. Just got home from school? Nice, dude. This it? Yeah, this is the one we shot. Alright. Me and my family had to go through the heat wave without air conditioning, but we have some now. We've got a window unit here, but it's just... For one, it's too loud for me to stream with, feasibly. Like, it's just too much noise, so it has to be off during the streams. And the thing is, the amount of heat a PC generates, especially playing Call of the Wild and streaming, it's just a little space heater in here. It never goes well. How many dark brown raccoon dogs do you see posted? I think I've seen like 3 or 4. Not many. That's a black grouse. Okay, not nearly as light colored as I thought. And I should have just shot that before we claimed it. I didn't know it was spooked. Don't go across the water. How am I ever going to get you? I used to be good at this game. I don't know where he landed. How do I get the option to spot the animals with the scope? Let me see if I can get this guy real quick as he comes back across, and I shall show you. First shot hit. There we go. Alright, as we head over there. So that once again is a skill in the ambusher tree. Top of tier 2 sight spotting. If there's one skill that I don't think I could live without in Call of the Wild, is sight spotting. 72 in Breezy. I'm moving there. So with suppressors and things that'll like be OP, I think with suppressors specifically, there's a way to do it that makes them not OP, and that would be essentially make it so for our ears, the player's ears, the weapons are quieter, but it doesn't impact gameplay at all. So if, if you fire a rifle, still at 200 meters the animal spook, it shouldn't reduce the spook distance of animals, but if it reduces the, sound of the guns, and maybe some recoil, Basically, any factor that a suppressor adds other than how far away it spooks the animal from, I think I'm all for it. Making it so that animals won't spook from as far, that's too far over the line of new equipment making the game easier. And I understand, like, when new stuff comes out, you look at, you know, any new gun that comes out, it's always way better than some of the other new guns that have come out. And it has to be that way, or otherwise they're not going to sell as many. Like, you have to give people a reason to buy it, but you also have to keep a certain balance of difficulty in the game, and I think that that would be a way to achieve it. If only I could make such shots. 62 in Northern Ontario. I'm moving to all these places. If I had any breath. Ugh. I feel like I could have got that with one more try. What if suppressors drop the hunting pressure to 75%? I wouldn't be opposed to that necessarily. I don't think... If you ask me, hunting pressure in normal play matters very, very little. Now, if you're doing a grind, or if you happen to shoot like a lot of animals in one spot, then hunting pressure comes into play. But generally speaking, it's not something that is a reason for the game being any more easy or difficult. So I could be okay with that disappearing. What are you talking about, Kyla? Selling what for far more than I bought it? I don't know what you're talking about. The air gun should give less hunting pressure like bows. I think that's a good idea. I mean, you look at the way that it spooks stuff, it acts just like a bow, basically. Oh, the place, since you said you'll move where it's cooler? I mean, maybe. You'd also think if that was the case, I wouldn't have got it for the same price. Talking about Shadow. Now that she's... I don't know if I can say house trained yet, but she's pretty darn close compared to where she was even a month ago. Now she's worth $12,000. Love your vids, thank you, man. These rabbits. It's probably good that they don't just run and freeze as often as other species, but it sure would make my life easier if they did. No one would want her with her separation anxiety? Do you think it would just last forever if someone else got her? Cry every day? How old is Shadow now? Like 2 days shy of 9 months? It must be. What are some calibers and weapons you'd like in the game? I'm not really big on like wanting a particular weapon or caliber in the game. It's usually, if anything, it's like classes of guns, so... You know, I made a comment, I don't know, not too long after Revontuli Coast was announced, that I thought we're likely to see a shotguns pack eventually. As for like what should be in that, I think a 12 gauge semi-auto might be a good idea. What else could you add to that? You could do... I mean, there's tons of options, but as far as things that would make sense, maybe... What about a 410? I know we had the 410 with the handgun. Might be fun to... That could be more of like a novelty thing, not necessarily a super useful thing. Hey, me and Sam are on the same page here. Shot an albino and piebald gold fallow, just waiting for Mela for the huddle mount. Nice. What is the unluckiest you've been in the game? What is the unluckiest I've been? The 3 troll red fox back to back to back. Well, I say back to back to back. Like 6 months apart each. Was probably the worst. I had a really hard time getting a diamond red fox, and like I said, 3 level 9s that trolled in a row was pretty rough. .410 would be your choice. I think it could be fun. I would do it. That's something probably this week again. Other than whatever bear hunting content we may do, I think I'd like to do some kind of, you know, unique loadout video again. It's been a while since we've done that. Shot my 3rd ever diamond this morning. It was a feral pig. Nice. Congrats, man. Do a challenge where you have to use all the weapons in your hotbar and diamonds only on the beginner map. Boy, that would be a long video to get that many diamonds. Hi, Shadow. Well, not flush in this direction. It must have kind of turned in the air because it was going left to right, but we'll get the track and see. What map would you recommend? As far as like a DLC map, or where are we going here? 'Tis a small guy. The thing about it is, we need the respawns, so we gotta go get them. But then I never want to chase them for so long that it's, you know, wasting time. Always a balance with these. I mean, fried kind of fits in that setting as well, Kyla. Do a guided hunt with a subscriber? See, the tough thing about that is, and I used to do stuff like that in Classic. I wouldn't say guided hunt because, I don't know. I don't look at myself as like, follow me, youngster, I shall show you the way to the diamonds, because then if I don't find anything, it doesn't go well. But what's tough is like, a ton of people are going to want to do that, but basically everybody gets left out from it. Like, there's just, if I could do 3 a week, it would still take years to get through like everybody that's going to want to do it. So, I don't know, I just hate that it would leave more people out than anything. Will you ever have a face cam? Maybe one day. I'm kind of thinking potentially, depending on what happens for when my buck video comes out, I might have one that day for the stream that I have planned. Community Great One grind, use multiplayer to kill for you. That only works if everybody agrees for the same thing and nobody's going to shoot it when they find it. But the thing about it is, like, I'm not in it for the trigger pull, or mouse click simulated trigger pull. It's the grind that makes it so worth it. Like, if I, you know, I'm 4,200 kills into the black bear grind. If I were to, let's say I did do that. Let's say I brought everybody into multiplayer, and over the course of a week, we got 1,000 kills from multiplayer, and you know, 100 were me. It just would feel like it's not earned in the same way. When's the next real life hunting or fishing video? Tomorrow, actually. It is the muzzleloader season and kind of like very, very beginning like of the pre-rut. I think it's like a 12-minute video, maybe 13 minutes. Basically, it's a half episode. So TK's content, the stuff that he's filmed, obviously that's his stuff, so I'm not putting that on my channel, but the half of that episode that comes from my stuff will be. That is also a thing. If you want to see my face, you can go to the hunting channel. It's in all those videos. Or wait till tomorrow. Same thing. Nice place. Congrats, man. Opinion on a shotgun that shoots, I think that's, is it technically pronounced Sabo? I've always said Sabot, but I think it's technically Sabo slugs. It would be a unique thing. Like, unique weapons, I think, they don't always have to be the most, like, game-changing weapons. I think in a weapon pack, there's always got to be one that's going to be, like, the new meta to make it worth it. So, in the most recent one, the 308. I think for the most part, medium game grinding, so your deer species and stuff like that, most people go with the 308 now. But you could do, like, you know, more novelty, fun weapons. I think that might kind of fit in that realm better. What's up, Chaz? Do you watch the YouTuber Soup? His band is really good. I don't think I've seen anything from them. Best map to purchase if you're only getting one. So here's what's really difficult about that. You can play any map that you don't own in multiplayer. And as long as someone in that server owns the DLC, the map will stay open. If, say, there's only one person that owns it and they leave, after 15 minutes the map closes. So that's one side of it. The other side is, there are certain maps that are more popular. So, Virunga Savannah, for instance. I think Silver Ridge Peaks probably falls into this category. Whatever the new map is always stays popular for a while. I would say Revontuli is going to remain popular, though. And then you've got your less popular maps that have less servers open. Maybe, Medved's usually not got a lot. Quattro rarely has that many. I would even say Rancho lately doesn't have that many servers open. So you could buy a map like that maybe isn't your favorite, but rarely has servers open, so that if you do want to go and hunt that map, you always have the option to go and hunt your own map. Whereas you probably don't need to buy Virunga because there's at any given time 20 to 30 servers you can join. It really is just like, you gotta balance that out. If you're willing to play multiplayer, if you don't mind it, that's a really cool tool, but if you're not into multiplayer, you could still at least try them out and see which one you like the most. What's up, Mel? Hope things are going well with the video things that you mentioned. Messed up a diamond pronghorn yesterday, it happens, man. The good news is, diamond pronghorn aren't horribly rare, so I'd say there's a fair chance you can find another. My brother asked, have you killed a great one? I have 2 great ones, a whitetail and a red deer. Still working on the black bear. I'm hoping against hope, I think, to get it. Where even are we? Let's kind of angle this way a little bit. Harvesting wheat right now. And a bit ago I just saw our 195-inch buck on our land that I'm hunting this season. I didn't know you harvest wheat in August, to be honest. I guess that kind of makes sense. Was he in the wheat field or just happened to be in the same area? I'm assuming, because with oats at least, which is fairly similar, oats fields always have bucks in them around here. Always happens. The black bear grind is brutal. It's been pretty rough. Not gonna lie. I'm a tree line? In the tree line. That makes more sense. I was like, okay, I mean, if you're blending in well enough, guess it works. Whopperdoodle Joe, what a name. What's going on, man? What's your favorite and least favorite Great One Black Bear? So, I kind of want to get the Spirit, because even if it were in the reeds, let's say, like on the mule deer outpost, you'd see it right away. A lot of, like, the glaciers or even the spotted, I think it would be possible to not realize. Maybe the chestnut as well could kind of hide in the reeds. The cream one, I think, stands out enough. And when I don't know what this says about me. When I've had 3 separate dreams about killing a Great One Black Bear, it's always the cream variant, so I think that would be my favorite. Least favorite, I guess, is the chestnut, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I like them all. I guess it's the one that I like the least. I take great pride in my name, as you should. Alright, we have 1 track from Maxway Black Grouse. I'll tell you what, I do like, if I can get on this map and not change the time, I do like doing that. I have way better luck with tracks not disappearing. When I joined this map, it was like 1300, and when I say joined this map, switched from Silver Ridge Peaks to Revontuli. And I swapped the time for this stream to be early morning, and a lot of times I will find these dead-end tracks. Now, in this case, we might be okay. We'll see if we can find them. I like the glaciers as well float. I think, I'd be very pleased to get one of those as well. Get anything good? Nothing to speak of yet. We had a hazel grouse right... Ooh. Why did that look huge? Was there another one in there? Something about the way he turned. It looked like a way bigger paddle. But anyway, our first kill was like a 428 hazel grouse. Diamond's 435, so pretty good. But other than that, nothing huge. What's going on, Mason? Kyla isn't a member? Nope. She said, I will save my money and buy a puppy or something. What's going on, John? Thanks for renewing your membership. 36 months, 3 years, dude. That is a long time. Welcome back. All the thick memberships coming in today. Appreciate you guys. I don't know if Shadow's dropping a toy down the stairs or what just happened. That's probably our black grouse. For the sake of not forgetting, because things could get chaotic whenever this flushes, RedneckJay, thank you for the 41 months as well. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. I haven't heard the stereotypical black grouse fleeing sound. There it is. Oh boy, there's more than I thought there were going to be. I also don't think either of those hit. What do we have here? That one. That one. Okay, none of them are huge. Hopefully we can catch up to them. A lot of times it'll work. Hey, Scarecrow, thank you for the super chat. Did you hear Scarecrow got a great one? I did. Number 3, right? Diamond Grind's going alright. Black grouse have been rather harsh to me. I had my troll. That was cool. And then since then, I haven't really gotten anything all that close. Like a 117 is maybe the best I've done. What are we hunting today? A lot of black grouse, but I do want to get after raccoon dogs and probably, if we can, at least some mountain hare. I shot one. They're just tough to find, like, consistently. I found a good bit of black grouse in the top left near the outpost between the 2 lakes. I did a bunch of hunting up there. I end up not finding as many as I'd like. We can try going up there. Maybe I've been missing them. I don't know which one of those hit, but one of them did. 113 for that guy. Not sure which was the max weight. It could have been the one we just harvested. My account says I got a great one, but I haven't. Were you playing around March of 2021? Because the most likely thing is you shot a diamond during that 1 month period when diamonds were being counted in as your great one total. I have the same issue, except mine says I have 20 great ones, even though I only have 2. Schmoll. Okay. So you're saying top left between... So like these 2? Before we go up there, I'll wait and see if that's what you're talking about. The top is the spot I found all my diamond black grouse. Got 2 diamonds in the same flock up there. I really just don't find many up there. I must be missing something. That is where you mean it? I can go and check it out. I do get some up there, but I feel like I actually find more down here. Interesting. So many things to do, Mel. Got my diamond in the middle. My troll was like right over here somewhere, I think. Where even is we? We're all turned around. We've been here an hour already. I guess we better get up to the top left then if we're gonna try that. Let's go maybe from here over. I don't want to... we can spawn right there. It'll be fine. It always shocks me when I find out I have a trophy Flinter doesn't even this Earth on a map. I'm missing something about the Earth on a map thing, but I haven't been doing as well with Revontuli as I would have liked, that's for sure. Survey... Oh, yeah. I saw they were out there. Do you have a trophy lodge? I do, yes. What about up here? I usually don't go this way. Early on a map, that makes sense. How's the bear grind going? I've been like 4,240 kills, something like that. I wouldn't say I despise it, but I'm just like, I'm ready for it to be done. It's just like, you know, there's other things that I want to do, and I placed so much focus and emphasis on like, alright, I'm just going to get this bear out of the way so I can get on to Revontuli and, you know, do my thing, and 4,200 kills, I'm still not there. Do you think that the gray fur type is really similar to the spirit brown bear? They're kind of similar, but usually if you've got decent lighting, you can see the difference. What weapons to use on this map? Normally I run with the 16 gauge, then 308, which is kind of small for brown bear and moose, but it gets the job done. And then of course it's a good whitetail gun. 243 for raccoon dogs and lynx. And then any kind of long range bird shooting, which half the time I miss anyway. The 22 LR. Alright. Can see plenty far. There's a rabbit. Oh, a female rabbit. Usually, if anything, when I'm up here, I find males. Cool. My last red took me 6,000, but at least they have antlers. Weirdly enough, and I didn't think that I would kind of have this experience, but I like the bears better because every single time you spot a bear, you don't know what you're about to see. There's an aspect of like, spot it and you see the level 9 come up of like shock. Whereas with the red deer, you know what you're looking at already. It's weird. I actually would have thought it was the opposite. Like, I usually like to see the big antlers, but I found that the bears intrigue me more. What's up, Chinooks? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the support, man. What is the best skill tree to have? That is a good question. I think, for me at least, make sure I'm going the right direction here. I'm going to say ambusher to get to sight spotting. That's probably the biggest one for me. Best spot for goose hunting on Revontuli. I am probably not the one to ask. I've not done enough goose hunting to really have a good idea. I will say I've had a lot of bean goose success up here. But if you're after gray lag geese, best I can tell you is just like down in the south, you can find a lot of them in different areas. What is your favorite map? Layton Lakes. What's up, Clay? I need to put the new PC specs in the description one of these days. I keep forgetting. That's another rabbit. That's a male. Usually I leave the males go. I don't really see a reason to shoot them. So, other than maybe getting rares, but we'll let him just do his thing. Are you excited for Way of the Hunter? I am. I think that's going to be... If they can deliver on the promises that they've put out there with like their complex trophy system and just what we've been able to see in the content that they've released, I think it's going to be right up there as one of the better hunting games in existence. Is it possible to get pack mule and to serve veg? I don't think so. If not, which is better? I think that's going to be a matter of personal preference. Now for me, I go with the serve veg for two reasons. Number one, I like the potential of like running into a track and finding a rare that way. But the other side that maybe is more important is that all the new weapons that have come out, you know, they're so lightweight. You don't really need pack mule to carry like all the weapons that, you know, might be necessary for a hunt. You can get, you know, the 300, the 308, the 243 and a 22 into basically any loadout with room to spare. What expert shooting that was. Just found an albino moose. Should I shoot it with the 303? Why not? Has there been anything on when the Angler is going to come out? I think on PC it's supposed to be August 31st, so here in about 3 weeks. Console I haven't heard. They said later. I don't know when later. Swing and a miss. 10 times over. A moosh? Did I say moosh? I could have. Can you guess what tomorrow is? A fair or a showing of some kind. Maybe. Shot my Great One Black Bear today. Nice. Which fur type did you get? Not the burbs that we're after. Maybe if we go up to this lookout. We'll be able to spot around and see if there's any. How's fishing in PA? There's a lot of fishing opportunities. It helps that we live, you know, there's a creek going right through the property, so we have a lot of fishing opportunities if we want them. But lots of, you know, whether it's ponds for farms, like my uncles have a farm that's got 2 or 3 ponds for water sources, and there's some huge bass in there if you want to just go bass fishing. You've got the Susquehanna, the Juniata. If you go out by Pittsburgh, you can fish like the bigger rivers, the Allegheny, Monongahela, and I don't know, I guess there's at least a chunk of the Ohio you could fish. Lots of bodies of water, basically, is what I'm getting at. Erie as well in the northwest. Can't wait for Way the Hunter this weekend. Is it actually this weekend? It just feels so far away. That's nuts. What type of bow are you shooting with in real life? So this year, I've got the... As I'm spotting things and can't talk and spot at the same time, I've got the Darton Spectra E32. So Darton is a new sponsor for us this year. Pretty excited for them. I've been shooting it. I've been having a blast. I think TK just said my arrow should be here Wednesday. So hopefully get those all set up and gonna be off and running with paper tuning and all that fun stuff. I don't know. Maybe Bottom Boy? What do you think? Come back here. What do you think the Steelers' record will be this year? I know they'll lose 2 games against my Ravens. Nah, they'll split. They always split. The only games Lamar Jackson has won against the Steelers have been the Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph year. Which, to be fair, that might be what we're looking at this year, so maybe I shouldn't say that, but I think they'll split. 9-8 or 10-7. I also think the Ravens are going to be 10-7 or 11-6. I think the Bengals are going to be 11-6 or 12-5. You can see where I'm going with this. And then the Browns are going to be like 7-9. No, I mathed wrong. 7-10. How's your day been? It's been good, man. It's been a warm day, which I am looking forward to those being over. But yeah, been a good day. Trying to get all kinds of Call of the Wild stuff done lately before the releases of new games this month between Way the Hunter and the Angler. No Great One Blackberry yet, though. Buffalo, as a Penn State fan, I gotta know. Are you from PA that makes you a Penn State fan, or is the Penn State not a local thing? You have Trubisky and Pickett? I mean, if you ask me, they're probably an upgrade over Roethlisberger, who was barely able to move last year, and I'm not saying game-winning drive potential, but I probably am saying scoring more than 3 points before the fourth quarter starts. Where's the black grouse? I've been promised. Do you have AC? So our AC issue right now is... Oh, hello. Hang on. Just take care of this real quick. What was that, 235? I want to hit it in the head. Oh, that was way over. Alright, that'll work better. Anyway, AC issue right now is that it's just like a window unit up here in the corner of the hallway, and it's just too loud to run while I'm streaming. So, like, it does an okay job of keeping the place cool, other than when I'm streaming or recording, which is when it gets the hottest, because then I'm recording and the PC is running a game that makes it, you know, heat up, and that never works well. Probably won't get their brain smashed by Myles Garrett. Hey, you never know. Maybe if Mason gets out there again. AC cools the hall and that's about it. I think it does, like, if I don't have to record for a day, like if I didn't have to turn it off for a couple hours and heat up the upstairs, it would do probably well enough to darn near, like, keep the house at least semi-comfortable, but the 2 hours you lose in the extra heat from the PCs, there's just no... Up until, like, 8 o'clock, it's going to be way too hot in here, and then it finally cools down outside, you open the windows, then it's not that bad. So, the plan is probably... First of all, the electricity situation's odd because the way the house is wired, I don't know that we could even get like a mini split. I think we're going to have to do some rewiring first. That'll hopefully be this year. Next year, hopefully we get kind of whole house AC. Anyway, what do we got? Not bad, 4.7. I think that's our biggest one. We've had like 4 now, so I don't know. I like how it looks like we shot that was flying, but it was definitely just laying on the ground. We'll take that. Revontuli has a tendency to just give us good things. Vesperbs, indeed. Not what we came up here for, but I am not going to complain. How often do you get a diamond? In terms of, like, just pure numbers, this number is incorrect. It's 942. And I have 5659 hours. Here, let's do the math. 5659 divided by 942. Be about 1 every 6 hours of gameplay. The thing is, a lot of the early hours, like we're learning the game, I would say it's closer to 1 every 4 hours probably now. The average would be offset by not finding many diamonds at all in the early days of the game, but something like that. Do you think the Vikings are going to do good? I think it depends on, can they keep a pretty decent defense while still upgrading their offense with Kevin O'Connell? I wouldn't be surprised if they're a playoff team. You look, I think every loss they had last year was 1 score. You can jump in the creek to cool off? True. Jump in there with that big old turtle Kyla saw yesterday. We all know the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. Listen, if there's one team out there that nobody expects to win, that I would be like super thrilled if they won, it'd be the Lions. I like Dan Campbell. I like what they're doing there. The poor Detroit fans have suffered long enough. Falcons are going to be a playoff team. Now that's a hot take. I don't know if I could go that far. I think they're going to be better than people expect. 7 games, 8 games, probably potentially in a wild card conversation by week, or still in week 16, just because the NFC is not going to be that good. But I don't think they'll quite make the playoffs. I think you've got too much firepower in the NFC West, in particular, and then I'm looking at Packers and Vikings in the North. I think this is a Mythical Lynx. I'm pretty sure I've seen this one. What time do feral goats drink? Is it still... It's probably not 10 to 13 anymore. I actually don't know. I'm a Seahawks fan, you know our deal? So, there's been a bunch of speculation about the Seahawks just kind of sitting back quietly to try to get Jimmy G. Which I don't think Jimmy G makes them Super Bowl contenders. Probably a fringe playoff team. And then I heard a thing today that was really interesting. Because of Matt Stafford's injury, what if the Rams ended up with Jimmy G? That would just... If he ends up staying in the NFC West, and then particularly going to the Rams, that'd be nuts. Trevor Lawrence will make or break our year? I think, I don't know, you look at what's his name? Wentz and Foles were able to do with Peterson. They might end up being something there. I don't know why that alert's not happening, but Jared Rodgers, thank you for the 30 months, 2.5 years. Absolute mad lad, welcome back. Broncos are a team I'm rooting for. I can't decide what I think of them. I generally have followed Russell Wilson. I rooted for him in Seattle. There was always an aspect of like, I think a lot of kids do, when I was younger to grow up to make the NFL or whatever, however you say that. And, you know, that didn't happen. But since Russ overcame so many odds being, what is he, 5'11"? Or not even? And ends up being a very talented quarterback, I've always rooted for him for that. But I don't know. That division is going to be tough no matter what. Broncos country. Let's ride. I can't. The dude is a fantastic, like, promoter of himself and his brand. But my God, why the Broncos PR team or whatever released that, I don't know. It was not good. Danny Dimes, what a lad. I don't know, maybe DasBiel will make something of him, but I don't even know if anybody in the Giants organization believes in him anymore. Didn't they not pick up his 5th-year option? I watch a lot of Pro Football Talk, Mr. Freeze, and Mike Florio, the host of that, is a Vikings fan, and that's what he always says. They're just perpetually, like, good enough to sell tickets, make the fans think this is our year, and then they're like 500 every time. You should watch the Pat McAfee show. Oh, I watched that too. I like that, the thing that's really sucked me into PFT in the last year or so, because I've been watching for a couple years, but every show out there has no idea what they're talking about when it comes to the Deshaun Watson situation. Florio was a lawyer for 20 years, so he's had like really good insight on it, so I always watch his stuff. I think that's why I've watched so much of them, but Pat McAfee show is fantastic. He just was on Dan Patrick's show, and that interview was really good. Not sure what they did, but if Danny can start protecting the ball better, I think he would look a lot better. You know, I think if the poor guy wouldn't have stumbled at about the 15-yard line there, or maybe the 20-yard line, he'd be viewed in a better light. Something happened when he tripped, and that was it. Small. You a baseball fan? I mean, if it's the only thing on, I'll watch it, but I don't go out of my way to follow baseball. I played it when I was younger. Like, it is much more fun to play than watch, I think, is the issue. If you're really into it, like, there was the year, I think it was 2015, that the Pirates were actually kind of decent last. That was fun to watch, but I haven't watched much since. And it's not even because the Pirates aren't that good. That would help if they were better, but I don't know, even when they were really good, the only thing I cared about was like when they were right at the end of potentially making the playoffs or not. Oh, who goes number 1 overall? Probably Jonathan Taylor. Unless I'm the one picking, because I won't pick him. I don't know if that's the lighting. It just looks different now. Almost like some white on it. There is a pale hazel grouse, I believe. Not like it's gonna matter, I'll never hit it. Haven't hit a thing with the 22 yet, unless it's sitting still. Do you watch wrestling? Other than I did watch Pat McAfee in the WWE, no. I thought that said thoughts on lactose at first, and I was like, you know, it's a thing. I've never watched a minute of lacrosse, so I don't have much there. I forgot orange-black grouse existed. That's pretty cool. I hope you can find them. As far as any tips, they are tough to track. One thing I would say that may help you is if you have a rough idea of what time of day you found them, what I would do is actually go on a different map, set the time to about then, and then go try to look in that area on Revontuli. So the reason I say that is one thing I've had a lot. If I go on Revontuli and then I reset the time, I'll find tracks, and then those tracks just always end up disappearing on me. They end up going in a straight line forever, and then I just can't find anymore. There's something that happens with the resetting of the time that warps them, and I just think there's some kind of issue there with the birds. Is Saquon still a top 5 running back? In the league or fantasy? I don't even know who I'd make my top 5. Jonathan Taylor for sure. This isn't in any particular order because I'm not going to be able to remember all the running backs. Jeez. Would it be mean if I said Lamar Jackson? Joe Mixon maybe? Dalvin Cook? I don't even know if I can name a top 5. I think it's new PC Mel. We have a fantasy league, Cody. I don't even know if everybody that we had last year is gonna join again. So if there's room and you're in the Discord, you can tag me and I'll let you know. Oh, Derrick Henry. Yes, I missed him. Definitely on there. Dalvin Cook's top 3. I'd probably put him at 3. I'd probably say Taylor, Henry, Cook, and then I could say Mixon as a 5. Who was the other one that I said? Now I've lost track. Taylor, Henry, Eckler, Kamara, Cook. Do you think Kamara's top 5 still? I hear way less about him since Breeze isn't there anymore, so that's where I'm stuck. He's a top 5 Pro Bowl SmackDown fella. Don't sleep on AJ Dillon. Aaron Jones is pretty good, speaking of, but I don't know, maybe AJ Dillon will come alive. Najee top 5 fantasy. I hope I get him again this year. He helped me to my win last year for sure. Him and Pat Freiermuth. Nobody could have seen when I started Pat Freiermuth over George Kittle and got 0.1 more points, and that was enough to win by 0.06 or something. That was great. I think probably 6 games, Cody, because it's Violent Assault. My brother asked if I was in my clothes for football practice. All I was wearing was a Slipknot t-shirt and shorts. Aren't you supposed to wear pads or something in football practice, or was this not a padded practice? What PC do you use? If the command thing will work, it should be there. We're gonna go and look for some raccoon dogs or something, or otherwise we're gonna be chasing grouse forever. Let's go from a different route. Try to get up in somewhere different. I don't know that I can put McCaffrey top 5 anymore because he's in the last 2 seasons he's played like 9 games. I don't even know if you do, Joe. I'll reactivate the league and see what you need to do. I made a post in the little Discord for it, and I don't even know, like maybe 4 or 5 people responded. I assume those are still active in the chat, are gonna be there. I don't even know who we're missing, to be honest. Nick Chubb's top 3? Yeah, I don't know about top 3, but top 5 for sure. My problem is, I have the same issue when I try to rank Myles Garrett. Like, my perspective on them is the 2 games a year they play the Steelers, and they just disappear, both of them. I'm honestly pretty sure that every time they play the Steelers, they try to highlight Baker Mayfield and make him kill them, and then they abandon the run that gashes them, and then the Browns end up losing, other than the playoff game, but that one was a... what's that called? An anomaly. It was the same as the Broncos getting killed by the Seahawks. You snap it over your quarterback's head for a safety, you just automatically get crushed. I think that's how postseason works. I can probably agree with that with the when healthy thing, but you gotta be available, and I think that's what hurts McCaffrey now. 0.02 point win? Dude, okay. So, something... I just had this weird feeling like I gotta start Freiermuth this week. I think Kittle would just come back from injury or something, and I had just traded for him, and I think I got him from Caleb, and he was like, why aren't you even starting him? And I was like, don't worry, I got this. And he literally had 1 more yard or something than Kittle did, and it was the exact point total I needed to win. 2 for 28. Hazel Grouse today. Give us a 3. Some thickens. Best ability is availability. That it is. Sorry if I missed this, but do you get bugs where inventory doesn't appear and you have to restart the game to fix it? I haven't had that yet. I know Kyla has. I know a lot of people have. I have yet to experience that. Are you going to play Away the Hunter when it comes out? Definitely yes. My plan is to work that and the Angler when that comes out into the rotation. So it's probably going to look something like 1 classic video a week. When they first come out, maybe 2 Way of the Hunters, 2 Call of the Wilds, and then the 2 streams. And then when the Angler comes out, it might go 1 classic, 2 Call of the Wild, 1 Angler, 1 Way of the Hunter. I mean, Andrews is... Of those four, Andrews is the only one that I know Boyle's okay. I don't even know the other two names, though. That doesn't mean they're not the best tight end room. Andrews probably makes any tight end room the best. 5 a.m. in Australia. Well, I appreciate you stopping in here instead of going to sleep. Or after waking up. Favorite great one? Of the two that I've gotten, or just like favorite possible? No, I thought that was a male. Whoops. Found a level 3 Caper Kaylee, but I hadn't. I can't figure out what you're saying, but the tracks are in a straight line forever. Yeah, that's the thing that I was talking about. You probably reset the time sometime earlier in that session. If you go back to that area, maybe earlier, you may end up finding it. But again, what I would do is when you change the time, do that on a different map. Got some range with the shotty? Apparently I should just launch long shots with that instead of using the 22, because I can't hit a darn thing with the 22. What do you think about rowing? I think I'm not very good at it. I have a... You know those, like, inflatable one-person pontoon boat things? I need to get that from my parents, by the way. It's taking up space in their garage, and I know they don't want it there. But, I like that thing a lot. The thing is, the way that you have to sit, or maybe it's just because I'm bad, but I can't get the proper, like, angle to get any significant propulsion from rowing. That or I just am bad at it. What's up, DQ? Just wanted to say it's awesome to catch you live. I just clocked into work, but I've been watching you every day for the last week and a half while I play Call of the Wild. That's awesome, dude. Hopefully the videos and streams and stuff can help kind of cut into what can be a little bit of monotony in Call of the Wild. That's what I do so often, like when I'm black bear grinding or really doing any kind of not recording stuff. I'll watch YouTube. I intend on hopefully if I can ever get a Great One black bear. My plan was to some degree be like, I couldn't have gotten this without Paul Harrell's content. I've been watching his stuff like religiously. At least we got a black grouse track, but not a big one. Is he with any friends? He's a grouse. There's another black grouse. Now that is a max weight one. Now again, most are, so does it mean anything? Probably not. Other side of that, the level 3 which trolled us did come from a max weight track, so kind of hard to ignore it. And again, if we can't even find another one, it becomes a little easier to ignore. Maybe because the other one was kind of facing uphill. Maybe it went this way more? Maybe so, Joe. The toughest part about the Sunday streams, and of course it's this time of year, right, has always been that usually on Sundays, I drive to my parents and watch football. It's always been a family thing, other than a couple games last year, and maybe like if I had a sports event when I played like in high school or whatever. We've like at least... What happened here? Now we're going back that way. Anyway, at least like my dad and I have watched basically every Steeler game together since probably like 2005. So that's always been a big thing, and having the stream right before football games always made that tough. Maybe we can find a way to do it. I know with Shadow though, like the fact that we're gonna have to get her ready to take her there too, and you know, get a thing ready with food and her toys to keep her occupied and stuff. There's always more that goes into it. Feed zone, but where? Oh my. This might be the type of thing we just come back to. With all these tracks going different directions, I just don't think it's going to work. Plus, we're supposed to be hunting raccoon dogs. Really effective at doing that today. She loves going there, she does. Just runs around like a lunatic. You know, I just thought of something. Even though maybe a lot of people have this experience. My dad says, like, he cares less and less about the NFL every year, which, you know, that's fine. Some people think the NFL is getting too political. Some people appreciate, like, the stuff they're doing. Wherever you fall on that, I don't care. But that said, when things happen in Steeler games, like, when the best thing is, because, you know, he grew up watching the Steelers defense. I love watching defense as well. If the Steelers rush is getting close to the opposing quarterback, like, he starts to tense up, and, like, I don't know, I guess he's trying to will them to get the sack so much. I want to see Shadow, like, lose her mind when stuff like that's happening, because she will definitely think he's trying to play. Especially about the Wait, what about the Cowboys? I missed something. If you don't buy Shadow a Palomalu jersey, you've failed your obligation as a football fan. I don't think she would take too kindly to having anything. Any sort of clothing placed upon her, but, you know, maybe we can manage. Unnecessary but true. Wait, what was... I don't know what the thing was about the Cowboys. I missed it. Finally shot my first ever diamond moose. Nice, man. Oh, someone said go Cowboys in caps? Hey. They're a historic franchise, alright? Are you talking about US football? Yes. Lots of it today for some reason. I think bird hunting on Revontuli lends itself to that, 'cause you don't have to pay any attention. Half the time they fly right in front of you. Okay. Don't know where that goose came from, but that's fine. I hear wing flaps. Maybe it's from the geese. As a Norwegian US football is strange, I understand that. When I worked at the college that I attended for 15 minutes before I dropped out, they played rugby on the cafeteria TVs a lot. And it looked interesting, but I could not for the life of me understand why, like, they were doing certain things. I assume, at least, that ends up being a similar thing, like when you're watching US or NFL football when you're not used to it. I don't know if... I have no idea what happens when you retract a super chat message. I assume it doesn't work, but either way, I appreciate the support in the message, Luke. For all the hate the Cowboys get, they aren't even that bad. It's their fans that cause everyone to hate on the team. It's like... It's a combination of things. It's like... The fans think every year is their year, which all teams' fan bases think every year is their year. Maybe outside of, like, the teams that are obviously not going to do good. So maybe your Jags of last year. I'm not going to say any teams this year because let's be positive about everybody's upcoming season. But like the Jags of last year, probably the Giants and Jets last year. Nobody expected to, you know, this is our year type of thing. But then I think it's Jerry Jones, man. Like he makes them so darn memeable, and I feel bad because you can't do anything about it. It's the same, like, as a Dolphins fan, I love to just casually talk trash on stream about the Dolphins and Tua, just because I don't know, I find it entertaining. But Stephen Ross is the big issue, and you're not, like, he ain't gonna get fired, he owns the team. There we go, Luke. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, forgot to ask. How can you... Oh, can you show me your skills? I can. I'm going to try to do this somewhat quickly because we might have a black grouse nearby, but if you want to screenshot them or anything like that, those are the 2 pages of the skills. Definitely the Falcons here. They deserve one. Probably not this year, but between... Was it the Broncos that killed them in the 90s? And then, obviously, in 2016 or whatever that wasn't good for the poor fans. Bandles, thank you for the 7-month, by the way, with the membership. Welcome back. I hope that alert's going to work. Sometimes they get a little bit weird. Fingers crossed. Wait. Did it fly past? I didn't see it. Be gone, you dirty bot. Well done. Vikes got this. I think O'Connell will make him interesting. Not sure that old Kirk Cousins is the one to do it, but maybe. Then again, I'd say Stafford's better, but it's not a huge leap between Stafford to Cousins. He could win with that level of QB play. What about Tampa? Yeah. So, what I want to say is, yeah, Tom Brady is over the hill. It ain't gonna happen. You just can't rule the guy out. And listen, like if you didn't hear me say it earlier, I'm a Steelers fan. I dealt with Tom Brady killing us for 20 years. When I was probably like, I don't know, 16. So this is 2013-14. Roethlisberger was just kind of reaching his peak, I would say. Or maybe prime is a better way to say it. He was getting to the point where like he could kind of carry the team even when the defense wasn't up to snuff. But you'd run into Brady in the playoffs or at the end of the season and your number 1 seed becomes the number 2 seed. And then I had this thought like, okay, in like 4 years, Brady is going to retire. Roethlisberger is going to be the best quarterback in the AFC, and we're going to be cruising. And guess what? Brady's still going while he's not in the AFC anymore, and Ben's already retired. What's up, Pixel? Stafford's the most overrated quarterback ever? I just can't agree with that. He might be some overrated now because, you know, he got to the Rams and won a Super Bowl, but I don't know. When you're on the Lions and you put up any kind of numbers, you got to be pretty good. And again, Sean Hill could do okay when Calvin Johnson was catching passes, so maybe I'm giving him too much credit. Running the Rodgers in 2010. You know what sucked about that game? Much like I think it was Super Bowl 30. I wasn't alive at the time, but Steelers Cowboys Super Bowl. The Steelers were on their way back in 2010, and Rashard Mendenhall fumbled, and that basically sealed it. Like they couldn't overcome that fumble. They were all but one weird turnover away. If I recall, it was some kind of strange situation the way he fumbled that. They had like this crazy triple option 2-point conversion thing that they made. All for naught. Are we ever not talking about football in here? It gets brought up in the chat. It's anybody that does it knows what they're getting into. I'll talk about it for an hour straight. Or more. 2 hours straight. You get me talking about it on a 24-hour stream, we're in trouble. In that game, Neil O'Donnell threw 2 picks. Not only did he throw 2 interceptions. Again, I wasn't alive for this. I've only seen the highlights. He threw 2 interceptions. Gift-wrapped with a bow and a gift tag to Cowboys from Neil O'Donnell. There was no Steelers in the area. I have no idea what happened. That was... So, okay. Nobody really cares about this other than Steeler fans. But Sean Payton gets all this credit for doing the coming out of the half onside kick in the Colts Super Bowl. Cowher did that 15 years earlier in that Super Bowl. If they would have won, if Neil O'Donnell decided to throw it to his own team, Cowher's the guy that gets all the credit for having the guts to do it. I know it will. Continues to talk about football. Oh, did you want me to stop? Well, anyway, the Steelers. Anyway, what's your opinion on Way of the Hunter? I'm pretty excited for it. I think everything they've shown us so far, it's shaping up to look pretty good. Pretty good chance that makes its way into the weekly video rotation, if not permanently, for quite some time. You're losing viewers that don't know football and only know soccer? Hey, you know, I try to keep a balance. This one's been a pretty football-heavy stream. I try to not get too crazy, but, you know, look over in the chat, more football questions, I'll talk about it. At least we have NFL to watch in August. I watched the entire Hall of Fame game, and I'm not embarrassed to say that I enjoyed every minute of it. Even if it was third and fourth stringers by the end, I was just happy to watch a football game again. it becomes such like a big part of the routine. Like it gets to be, say, Tuesday, and maybe if the Steelers are playing on a Sunday, I'm like, man, I gotta wait almost a week still. And then I'm like, no, in 2 days there's a primetime game that I can watch. It might not be the Steelers, but I'm sure gonna watch. More people need to speak up about something? Yeah, I mean, if other things get brought up with the chat, I'll read those, but if then... I don't like... When I'm choosing what I'm going to talk about in the stream, I don't read through and think like, no, I don't want to say that, don't want to talk about that. Other than if it's maybe something that just like I can't say on stream, like if it's, you know, not appropriate for YouTube or whatever, I won't read it. But literally all I do is look over and the first thing I see is what I read. So if it happens to be NFL related again, the conversation continues. Walker looked very good. I thought he did, other than getting a penalty, but preseason's the time to do stuff like that. Why football? There's two things that, for a lot of people at least, go very much hand in hand, and that is football and hunting in the fall. And I suppose it'll come as no surprise, because of the hunting ties with this channel, I guess I find it at least somewhat fitting to talk football. I mean, clearly there's a lot of people in here that want to hear it, but there's also a bunch that don't, so like I said, I at least make some effort to not answer nothing but football questions. Do you like any other sports? Not really. I was actually, last night I was watching, like Charles Barkley funniest moments on the basketball, whatever show they do. But I don't really follow anything else. Have you ever harvested in real life, over 150-inch whitetail? Last year. Literally, I never had a whitetail bigger than maybe a gross score of about 110. Last year's was gross 180, net 171. The football talk has just begun. Yeah, just wait until real meaningful games start getting played, and that'll be... What's the word? I can't think of, like... Why can't I think of what that word is? Really annoying, but there's a better word for it. At least the Steelers have Kenny Pickett. I'm intrigued to see what Trubisky can do, but, you know, I think everybody in Pittsburgh basically expects the reins to be handed over. Do you watch NASCAR? You know, basically, if it happens to be on after a football game, I've watched a bit of it, but it's not something I follow in the slightest. Rams, Bills. I'll say the Bills, especially if Stafford's elbow's giving him trouble. NASCAR's boring unless someone crashes. Yikes. You play hockey? That's pretty cool. My friend played a lot of hockey, so on occasion I'd end up going to some of his games and watch him. I found those interesting enough. I guess it's like the strategy aspect. I can't tell what color that thing is, but it seems to be different. Gray or spirit, probably? Anyway. I like the strategy that goes into football. Like, I think it's that anybody who understands it a bit can sit there and at least try to either predict what the team is going to do, or, as most fans do, yell at the TV about what they're supposed to do. Because you have every play, there's a break, 40-second break between the plays. So you sit there and, well, they gotta run it this time. No, they don't gotta run it, they gotta throw. They're not getting anywhere. The conversations that happen in football games are great. What's up, Tux? Appreciate you stopping in, man. Oh god, Mr. Freeze. NASCAR can be interesting, but if nothing happens and they just follow each other, then it's another story, if that makes sense. I think for me, it's just... Again, like, I understand their strategy in all sports, by the way, don't get me wrong. But I think... For me, like, I can't I can't watch the go back and forth or do the same thing over and over, like basketball, hockey, even NASCAR. Like, it's just the back and forth thing. And I know football is too, but it's the breaks in between every single thing that I guess fascinate me. Ever gonna grind on Tearoa for a great one? I'll be honest, unless it is from pure luck of killing like the occasional red deer on when we're on maps such as Tay or Quattro, I'm probably never going to shoot a second great one red deer. I like them, but I don't have a lot of reason to want to get a second one. Do you like dove hunting? I did a fair bit of dove hunting when I was a kid. It's quite fun. I don't know why I don't do it anymore, to be honest. I feel like for a lot of sports, it's a big disconnect between doing the sport and watching. Baseball and NASCAR, real fun to do, dull to watch. Football is a great blend of both. A lot of people find football to be boring because of the break between every single play. And I do get that. I just think for the people that like it, it's the ability to, every minute, you think, okay, what would I do here? And I think if you're right a lot, you get a lot of satisfaction out of like, I could do that. I could coach that team. I could have called that run play. Whereas like, the tough thing about, and maybe if you understand hockey better, this isn't the case, but for me when I watch hockey, best I can tell, puck's over there, everybody goes that way. Like, I can't say like, well, what they should have done is, you know, called a completely different play. I know there are plays in hockey, right? I don't know, it's harder to see. Pest hunting? I used to do a bit of that with my pellet gun, like Dad wanted, Blue Jays used to get into his corn crib real bad and eat the corn, so he wanted Blue Jays dead. So I did a bit of smoking them, but I think in what is normally considered pest hunting, like some varmints and stuff, I haven't done much of. Ferrets. Where are pheasants a pet? Pheasants? What is... Time for bed. Ferrets. Where are ferrets a pest? I almost said pheasants again. Please help. Somebody send a psychiatrist. The Ravens have a 20-game preseason win streak? That's ridiculous. I love going to watch sprint cars on my local tracks. I think being there would probably be more fun than watching on TV for sure. Slow down. Ah. I believed in the hitbox too much. Falconry's cool. That's not something I could ever do, but it is cool. Rabbit hunting with a ferret and an eagle. How different that is, you know? Just started a week ago. I shot a gold albino blacktail yesterday. Nice, dude. It took me forever to get a rare anything. That's awesome, man. Where is male raccoon dog? Schmoll lad, wherever he is. Level 5. And a female. Thoughts on herd management? It ain't for me. I feel like it goes against the spirit of the game. I've said the same thing about not claiming animals. Maybe that's the best way for me to say it, because I think sometimes it can be hard to phrase it and not sound like extremely, maybe inflammatory? The game I don't think was ever designed to be able to kill diamonds at a rate of like a dozen a day or more. For me, like, even though I'm not saying it doesn't work, it works. If you do it the way that people say to do it, like, you can get more diamonds. I just feel like it takes away from that aspect of the unknown. Do you know what I mean? Like, the whole reason Call of the Wild is so much fun, the whole reason that the game has made it for 5 years and continues to get more popular is because you never know what's around the next corner. You never know what's out there. I think herd management kind of cuts into that. And, like, don't get me wrong, I've tried it in the past. I never had any success with it, and I think had I seen, 10 diamonds at once, I might have been like, huh, I'm not sure this is how they wanted this to work. So I don't know. I think the game can be played a bunch of different ways. I don't, I'm not recommending anybody stop doing it if they're doing it. I'm not saying that it's ruining the game or anything like that. But for me and like my enjoyment of the game, I can't remove one of the things that has always been the most fun, which is that finding a diamond aspect. And you might think like, what do you mean? It makes you find more diamonds. It does. And at the moment the diamonds are no longer fun, it's time to move on to a different game. Have you ever heard the saying, the moment I stop getting buck fever, like I'll stop hunting? There's got to be like, if you're not still hyped to see a max level animal, I don't know. I can't act well enough to pretend I'm having fun if I'm not. So for me, I just can't do it. I can't willingly remove one of the, what I call it, rewards, I guess, of playing the game well, of finding diamonds. I get that side of it as well, Will. Like, I don't know if perfectionist or completionist is the right phrase, but any lake when I'm blackbird grinding, if I let one go, one gets away, I'm like, man, I'm messing this run up. I could have done so much better. I think we're dangerously close to solving the game. I wonder. As a raccoon dog makes it really easy to take down. I hope there's still some aspect of randomness in the game that can never be cracked, but yeah, is that something the devs see? The devs see mechanics being understood and worry about that? When diamonds are too common, there's no incentive to actually play? That's how I feel about it. Like, listen, I know you can go further than diamonds. I know super rares exist. I know great ones exist. And for some people, that can be enough. I get that. And again, that's why I'm trying to say, like, you can play the game a bunch of different ways. I'm not trying to demonize herd management or anything like that. But I guess the reason that I'm so kind of like, I don't know, the reason I'm still talking about it 5 minutes later or whatever is, I know what it would do for me, and it would make the game no longer fun. And I guess I worry that it would do that for other people. And like, this game has been amazing for me and so many others. I don't want other people to maybe fall into the trap of thinking it's going to make the game so much more fun and then ultimately ending up walking away from it. I don't know. I think it's tough to not make it sound like I'm talking down about people that do that. I'm not. Like, I've always said there's a bunch of different ways to play the game. I have no issue with, other tactics and stuff like that, but I don't want anything I do to influence what's spawning. It's kind of, we've talked a bit about Way of the Hunter in videos and stuff, and how like shooting low fitness males is supposed to help have your map produce more high fitness males. And I guess to some degree that's a similar thing, and like your actions have a direct influence on what happens. But that's how the game is meant to be. I don't know that your actions in Call of the Wild were ever meant to influence stuff, and I think that's why it can be so effective and get so many diamonds. No hate for those people. If it's your way to enjoy the game, go for it. Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is to like try to differentiate that, because there's no like aspect of competition, I guess. You do have to be careful still. Like if my only argument was there's no aspect of competition, then you might think that I'm for mods because like you're not hurting anybody. But you are. If you're modding in great ones and stuff and posting those in the communities and pretending they're legit, that does devalue the legit ones. But herd management, it's in the game. I'd argue that it's borderline exploit of the game, but it's definitely not in the same realm necessarily. What even is herd management? I mean, if you really want to find out what it is, you can find tutorials and stuff. I don't want to get into explaining exactly what it is here, but it's essentially a way of picking and choosing what you shoot that results in getting way more diamonds. Do you hunt public or private land? I've been very fortunate to hunt private land. My dad owns a little over 100 acres, you know, back where I grew up, so I've always got that, and I own 14 here that we can hunt on as well. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they do that pixel. That's the other thing too, the die-off factor. That maybe prevents a lot of potential exploitive play of how their system works. What do you think of pop resets? Now that's an obvious exploit. When you're messing with files, like that's exploitation. The other thing is, if you could do it on PC and console, if at least everybody's able to do it, you're on some level of a level playing field. I'm still not saying you should do it, or that you should do it if that were the case, but console players just can't do that. So it's a huge unfair advantage for PC players to do that. Dude, you are gonna have so much fun, Bottom Boy. I don't even know how much, I forget how much land you said it was, but with the 14 acres here, the amount of like exploring and stuff I did, and it's always that, you know, genuine no idea what's out here type of thing, which obviously worked out pretty well. You shot a 190 whitetail on Classic. Nice, man. Now that's an achievement. What is an animal that you want to see as a great one or a new version of a great one? I really want to see a mule deer. I think mule deer great one if they do, you know, enough variety, and realistically, if they just look up some of the world record mule deer, make them look like that, it would be hard to beat. They just look so darn good. You think Way the Hunter is going to kill Call of the Wild? I don't see Way of the Hunter and Call of the Wild approaching the same niche. Like, best I can tell, Way of the Hunter is going for a more realistic approach. Just based on, like, the bit of information we know from their trailers and stuff, I get the impression that Way the Hunter is more realism, more, like, detail-oriented, and I don't want to say this and make it sound like it's a bad thing, but I'm going to hazard a guess that 85% of the Call of the Wild player base will prefer Call of the Wild because it's going to be easier to find animals and easier to find trophies. Maybe not at the beginning. Like, you know, bright, shiny new object and Way the Hunter. A bunch of people are going to gravitate to it, right? But say in a year, I'm guessing something like 80 to 85% of Call of the Wild's player base will have stayed with Call of the Wild or will have gone back to it. And I don't know, even, you know, I love challenging hunting games. I've played Classic for 11 years. I don't know that a more challenging, you know, gameplay is going to suck me away from Call of the Wild. I don't think it will. So, to me, like, because they're not even really competing for the same niche, I know hunting simulation games are the same niche on that level, but I don't think it's going to kill Call of the Wild. No, I'm a bit nervous as well, Bottom Boy, but I'm excited. Like, that's not something I've ever got to do, is like just have a huge expanse of public land that I have no experience with whatsoever. I think it'll be fun. Are you ever gonna hunt in Africa? I kind of doubt it. The hunting style in Africa doesn't appeal to me. Like, the thing that I love so much about whitetail hunting is it's a year-round thing, right? I've had trail cameras out since January, since the season ended, and I've been tracking, you know, movements and trying to find pinch points and all that kind of stuff. You learn, like, what deer where to place your stands. And then the season comes along, and it's not just like a 1 week of hunting them. At least not for a lot of people. Not for me. I'm hunting them for 6 weeks of archery. Then I got a week break, and then rifle comes in, and then a couple week break, and then late muzzleloader comes in. That's what I just love, that year-round approach. Whereas if I were to go hunt Africa, it's someone else's work. Like, they're finding the animals, and to me that ain't it. Now technically, you could argue that when I went and hunted with Will in West Virginia, it was mostly his work, like of him finding the animals and stuff. And I guess fair enough, but I guess to me the difference was, like, he still took us out. I still chose the stand locations based on, like, the sign that he showed us and stuff. At least I had an influence on it. And maybe you can do that a little bit in Africa as well, I don't know. But I don't know. For me, I think I'm mostly going to stick with North America. Anyway, I don't know anything about pre-ordering the angler. I saw that up there and I was mid-talking. I have 100 acres and would never think of hunting on public land. I think there's a degree of, like, if you can kill a good buck, particularly with a bow, on public land, that's a badge of honor that I think any bow hunter would carry. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't go hunting to run into other people. I go hunting to get away from all that and be out in nature. You can do that on public land. You go far enough in and stuff. But some days I'm done streaming at 5 o'clock and I run out and jump in the stand at 6 o'clock and it's dark at 7:30. I don't have time to get to public land in that way. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to hunt public, but definitely having private land is a nice luxury. See, that's what I'm talking about, Cody. Like, if you get a deer that size on public, it's a different deal for sure. How does the ranking go? It goes from trivial, minor, very easy, medium, hard, very hard, mythical, legendary, fabled. I think I got them all. Got to pop these raccoon dogs with the 308, I guess, because I've run out of 243 ammo. I saw you for a second. Okay. That tree had a way thicker hitbox than it should have. Goodness gracious, Float. That's a chunk. Would you ever go to Argentina for a dove hunt? Never say never, I guess, but if I were to travel to another country for hunting, it would be probably big game of some sort. I don't even know that there is anything. I don't know that there's anything that you could take me out of North America to go hunt. Red deer, probably. I think red deer could get me. Otherwise, I don't know that there's anything that... The way that I've described it before is like, I know that, say in Africa, a lot of times you go and hunt that in the summer. So it's not hunting at the same time. But if the typical time to hunt Africa was like November 1st, I would never ever go, because I'm always going to favor hunting whitetail. But again, because of the difference in time frame, it could happen. I don't want to completely rule it out. Oh yeah, we did get a dimer cape clearly. For that reason, instead of running around like a doofus, let's go in and place that in the lodge. A lot of red deer in Texas? Yeah, I don't know. I can't decide if I want to hunt them in their natural environment or not. And the problem is, a lot of places in their natural environment, it's not like a lot of, let's say if you caught the Meat Hunters episode 5, in Latvia, they are like fenced deer. Now, they're fairly wild fenced deer, but I don't know, if I could help it, I don't want to be in a fence. Come to Texas and hunt the hogs. I tried that, actually, funny enough, in March of 2020. Didn't have much luck, and the reason was pretty goofy. I've told the story before, but basically The guy that we were with was more interested in showing us like all of his cool little, you know, gadgets and stuff at his hunting camp than actually getting out and hunting the hogs. He was showing us the trail camera videos of this 200-pound boar, and it was like midnight to 2 a.m. it was coming in basically every night. And we got there at about like, I want to say it was like 9:30. And I'm telling you, we got in the blind at 3 a.m. It was ridiculous. We had no chance. Oh boy. Where are we going to put this thing? Maybe in here? I guess. We have like 4 black buck. That was 4.70 exactly, by the way. Where's the dog? Must be downstairs with Kyla. Sometimes she just sleeps under the desk, and I don't know it, but not today. I think we'll go with that. So that was 4.7. Is the one in the multi-mount 4.7? Oh, it is. Okay. So maybe that wasn't our biggest one, but either way, a couple of nice ones. Hard to go from one like this to mine and think it looks good. I've probably had a couple, just a couple more hours though. Might kind of offset it. Will you ever play Hunting Sim 2 again? I don't think it's very likely. We'll see. Maybe one day as a throwback. Anyway, I think that is pretty well going to do it for this stream. At least we got a Diamond Caper Kaylee. No Diamond Black Grouse, unfortunately, but shot a bunch of them. Maybe we can get some respawns on that. But on that note, I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. That is my half of the episode 6 of the 2021 Meat Hunter season. Bye!